Crimson Trace announces Laser Guard Pro for today's most popular concealed carry firearms, combining a red or green laser sight with 150 lumen light, taking personal defense to the next level. Available now at your local dealer.
A call came into Central Dispatch of the Baton Rouge City Police Department saying that there was a guy carrying a weapon, carrying a rifle, walking in that particular area at Airline.
All righty, this is Gun Talk. I'm Tom Gresham, and we are feeding right now a live news conference from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where the head of state police is explaining what happened there. We're going to rejoin that right now. It's underway. This is a news conference live from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
In critical condition, just got out of surgery a short time ago. The sheriff and the chief are going to speak on those. 2 additional officers suffered non-life-threatening wounds. They are in stable condition at the hospital now. At approximately 8:40 a.m., Baton Rouge PD officers at the convenience store observed the individual. He was wearing all black, standing behind a beauty supply store, holding a rifle. At approximately 8:42 a.m., reports received of shots fired. At approximately 8:44 a.m., reports received of officers down on the scene. At 8:45, reports received of more shots being fired. At 8:46 a.m., reports were received of the suspect, again, that was wearing all black, standing near a car wash located right next to the convenience store. At 8:48, our emergency EMS unit started arriving at the scene. They were staging so they could start approaching and getting the bodies that were at the scene to render first aid. Officers engaged the subject at that particular time, and he ultimately died at the scene. That was officers that were responding to the scene itself. State police and multiple agencies responded to the scene in an attempt to secure the area and identify possible potential suspects and further threats in the area. We in law enforcement ask the public, look, stay vigilant. We want you that if you see something that is suspicious, and you know what's suspicious and out of the ordinary in your particular area, call your local police department. You know that number, call that particular number. If you need one from us, and we ask that if you see suspicious activity and you don't contact your local police department, call the following number. It is 1-800-CALL.
It sounds like what they're saying in Baton Rouge right now is that there was one shooter, and they think that that's the one that they have down. They have shot and killed this one shooter. Earlier we were talking about having maybe 2 suspects out there. Not hearing that right now from the head of state police in Louisiana. We will be staying with this feed because there's a lot more information. We have the governor coming up, and we have 3 police officers dead in Baton Rouge, 3 who have been shot.
Please call. And again, we'll have a
horrible deal.
Press conference tomorrow afternoon.
More of the press conference in just a second because the governor's going to be speaking about that.
Thank you, Colonel. As the Colonel has just stated, we've had 6 officers that were shot today in East Baton Rouge Parish, 3 of which are Baton Rouge.
This is East Baton Rouge Parish Sid Gotro.
Deceased. 1 is still alive, and Chief Dabadie will speak to those individuals in a minute. We've had 3 East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputies that were shot. 1 that is deceased, 45-year-old. 1 is in critical condition, fighting for his life as we speak, 41-year-old. And 1 had non-life-threatening injuries. He's in surgery now. He's 51-year-old. Each one of these individuals married. Each one of these individuals have family. We're grieving as a law enforcement community. We're grieving for each other. We're grieving for our loss, and we're grieving for our families. And we ask for your prayers. Not only for us, like I say, for the deputies, but the families and the co-workers. As law enforcement, we are a family, and we stand here together, as you can see. But our number 1 priority is the safety of our community. The safety of the people that live here, the safety of law enforcement. We've activated the Louisiana Sheriff's Association Task Force, and as you can see behind me, several of my fellow sheriffs are here. And we want to assure you that we are having a coordinated effort that is going forward to ensure that we continue to provide the services necessary to protect the citizens of this parish. With God's help, we will get through this. To me, this is not so much about gun control. as it is about what's in men's hearts. And until we come together as a nation, as a people, to heal as a people, if we don't do that and this madness continues, we will surely perish as a people. So I would just ask for your prayers and your support for all of the families of those that are involved here today, and continue to pray for this parish, this city, this state, and this nation.
It's with a heavy heart that I stand here today. As the others have said, we've had 6 officers shot today. 3 of those officers would be RPD officers. 2 were killed in the line of duty. One is 41 years old and has just under a year of service. The other is 32 years old with 10 years of service. Our one non-life-threatening injury officer was 41 years old, and he has 9 years of service.
Okay, while this is going on, we're going to take a quick break here. That way we'll have time. We'll come back, and we should be able to catch the governor of Louisiana talking about this. We'll be right back with more gun talk.
That have been
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Batagroup. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Laser sights are an essential firearms training tool, improving the skill level of the shooter by enhancing proper fundamentals like sight alignment and trigger control, and providing life-saving practices that can be depended on in moments of crisis. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our laser training video, The Laser's Edge, and learn why Crimson Trace is making laser sights standard equipment.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham here. It's Gun Talk. We are watching the press conference being held in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, following the shooting of 6 police officers. 3 of them are dead right now. I made note of Sheriff Sid Gautreaux, who was speaking just a few minutes ago, and his comment there. I want to play that again for you because I think it says an awful lot. He's the sheriff of East Baton Rouge, and one of the officers who was killed was a deputy with the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department.
This is not so much about gun control as it is about what's in men's hearts. And until we come together as a nation, as a people, to heal as a people, if we don't do that and this madness continues, we will surely perish as a people.
And there you have it. I mean, that pretty well covers it. It is not about gun control. It is not about gun control. And this is from law enforcement, okay? This is from the people who are there on the front lines. They're not calling for gun control. This continues. The mayor is speaking right now. We're waiting for the governor to speak. And then I'm told that in about 12 minutes or so, President Barack Obama will be making a speech. We'll be talking about this. Let's rejoin the press conference as it's underway. This is Mayor Kip Holden, Mayor of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
We've always been partners with the state police, the sheriff's office, and the city police. We are one family, all seeking justice for all of our people. And so let me thank the President and also Ms. Jarrett for their calls, and the governor will elaborate on the call he got also from the President. But we must say that we ask you now for your prayers. We also pray for those who were killed or injured today in the incident. We want you to pray for their families and be with them not only today, but in the future. They are our first responders. Now we pledge to them and their families that we will be their first responders. We must strive every day to be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We thank our officers who have fallen in the line of duty. We pray for their families. We pray for peace everywhere. God bless you.
That was the mayor of Baton Rouge. Here now comes the governor of Louisiana.
Today has been a very tough day here in Baton Rouge and in Louisiana and in our country. An absolutely unspeakable, heinous attack on law enforcement here in Baton Rouge claimed the lives of 2 Baton Rouge police officers, 1 sheriff's deputy, and injured 3 others, one of whom today, right now as we speak, is absolutely fighting for his life. It's unjustified, it's unjustifiable. The violence, the hatred just has to stop. And it's at times like this I wish the command of the English language that I have were more adequate to the task to convey the full range of emotions that I am feeling and to express them on behalf of the state of Louisiana. Earlier today, I, along with Mayor Holden and the law enforcement community here, gathered with the family members of the victims at the hospital. And when I tell you unspeakable tragedy, it's unspeakable. That these men, risking their lives to protect and serve this community, were taken out the way that they were. They are real-life, everyday heroes. As you've been told by Colonel Edmondson, this is an ongoing investigation. There are a lot of moving parts in multiple agencies. I want to reassure everyone here in Baton Rouge and around the state that we are doing everything humanly possible to make sure that everyone is protected. Every resource is going to be available to be used to bring these perpetrators, if there's more than one, to justice. And obviously it means federal, state, and local. You just heard from the U.S. Attorney from here in the Middle District in Baton Rouge, but we're being aided by the FBI, the ATF agencies as well. But I also spoke with the President of the United States a couple of hours ago, who called to express on behalf of himself and the First Lady, but also the people of the United States, their condolences, their best wishes, obviously, for those who were injured for a full and speedy recovery, but also their prayers for the people here in Baton Rouge and around the country. We have to do better. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. And the people who carried out this act, the individuals, they do not represent the people of Baton Rouge or the state of Louisiana or what's best about our country. They don't represent the values we stand for. Obviously, our community is hurting.
If you're just tuning in, this is Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk. We are live streaming the press conference from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is the mayor, or rather the governor of Louisiana, John Bel Edwards, speaking. This is after the murder of 3 police officers this morning, shooting of 3 other police officers,
It is just an injustice.
As he says, it's just unspeakable. Again, this is Louisiana Governor John Bell Edwards.
Tearing apart the communities and families of Louisiana. So as I did just a few days ago, I'm inviting the people around the country to join their prayers to mine, that our nation, that our community here can heal, that we can get past this, and certainly pray for the recovery of those officers who were injured today, but pray for all of their officers, all of our officers here in Baton Rouge and around the state and around the country, and their family members who every day expose themselves to great risk of harm simply so they can protect and serve as they have sworn to do. As you were told by Colonel Edmondson, we are not going to take questions at this point. There will be another briefing, press briefing tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and we will then update you all with any additional information that we gather between now and then. So I want to thank you for covering this press conference, and again, ask everyone to join with the folks of Louisiana in solidarity so that as a nation we can heal, we can get past this, and we can be what we're supposed to be in the United States of America, because we're not there today. God bless you.
That was the Governor of Louisiana, John Bell Edwards, speaking about the events in Baton Rouge this morning, the attack, the assault, the murder of police officers. It was, we had the head of the police department, or rather the state police, speaking, as well as the sheriff of East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department. Obviously, one of the officers there, one of the officers was a sheriff with the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department. And I just want to play that again, what he said, because some people think, they seem to say somehow that being against gun control is being against law enforcement. This is the sheriff of the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department. It's one of his officers who was murdered this morning.
When he was a police officer.
This is
just after his 22nd
Let's see if we can
birthday.
get this
really.
to stop here. Let me see. We're running on multiple sources of information here right now. Give me just a second here. Here we go.
This is not so much about gun control as it is about what's in men's hearts. And until we come together as a nation, as a people, to heal as a people, if we don't do that and this madness continues, we will surely perish as a people.
Eloquent words from a man who just lost one of his officers, and of course other officers. I started the show today and I called it what I think it is. I think you have to call this domestic terrorism. This surely is connected to the murder of police officers, the intentional, premeditated, cold-blooded murder of police officers in Dallas, in Texas. Now we have police officers murdered in Louisiana. And we have certain groups within our country who are openly calling for the murder of police officers. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. We put up with that. We somehow say that that's acceptable speech. And I'm right there at the front of the line when it comes to protecting First Amendment rights. But at a certain point, it is incitement. It is incitement to riot. It is incitement to commit murder. And yes, we're going to have the president's going to be speaking in a little bit. We'll see what he has to say. But I will tell you, I think, this is just me talking here, okay? I think that at least a smidgen, and I think probably more, of the responsibility of this falls upon the man who occupies the White House at the moment. For fanning the flames of division when he could have and should have been a uniter, when he could have and should have been denouncing this kind of talk, this kind of actions. And yeah, you get the lip service of, this is not us, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. This is domestic terrorism. So, on the one hand, we have ISIS killing people not just in France, but in the United States of America. And then we have domestic terrorist groups. So what do we do with that? I don't know. What do we do? I don't know at this point. I'm watching right now the feed from the White House. Looks like we'll be getting the president speaking here before too long here. We are going to have a hard break here in about 90 seconds. There's nothing we can do about that. For stations that are carrying gun talk, we will continue to give you this feed. If you want to run this locally, we will do that rather than run the commercials that usually run at this time. We think that is important enough to where you need to be able to do that, okay? It's just simple as that. So we will do that. Again, the President of the United States will be speaking about the murder of the police officers in Baton Rouge in roughly 60 seconds, but we know how these things go. Sometimes they are delayed just a little bit. We'll see. I would ask you on the personal level, if you are a praying person, please pray for the families of these officers who were gunned down. The wave of this tragedy will go through many families, many generations of these families, fathers, wives, brothers, sisters, mothers, children, grandchildren, all affected, all destroyed, all devastated by this today. Please pray for those families, and especially for the officers who are in the hospital fighting for their lives. That's all we can ask. Hug your loved ones and make another commitment to protect them.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, we're back with you. We're waiting right now for President Obama to speak to the nation following the murder of 3 police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Shooting of 3 more. One's in critical condition, fighting for his life. We'll have a lot to say about this. You'll have a lot to say about it as we go along. And I'm waiting for that. And as soon as that happens, I'll bring him in and we will listen to that together. While I'm talking about this, I'm going to switch subjects very briefly. Unfortunately, I just learned too late that in April, a friend of Gun Talk died. If you listen to Gun Talk as a podcast, you don't know him, but you should know the name Dave Ryder. Dave, before there was even such a thing as a podcast, before there was an iPod, Dave contacted me like a year or two after Gun Talk started 21 years ago. Said, you ought to put that on the internet. I don't know how you do that. Dave said, don't worry, I do. I know how to do that. We literally would record the shows and mail him CDs, and Dave would put it up on the internet long before there was such a thing as podcasting using real audio. He was a true Second Amendment activist and advocate, battling health issues. Sometimes he would write and say, look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this because I can't see right now because of the diabetes is so bad, or the congestive heart failure, or the cancer's back. But he always came back and always was fighting. So, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave Reiner. I'm sorry I did not get word about his passing when it happened in April, but I'm glad to get the word out now. So if you are a podcast listener to Gun Talk, a tip of the cap to Dave Reiner, who put us on the web. The archive of Gun Talk Radio started almost 20 years ago. Amazing. So there you go. We are waiting for President Obama to speak following the murders of police officers in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I noted that the sheriff of East Baton Rouge Parish, when he spoke just a few minutes ago, he specifically said this is not about gun control. Unfortunately, it seems that every time that Obama speaks, when he gets any opportunity, he just goes to home base, which for him is taking guns away from honest people, when he should know. If he doesn't, he should know. You don't seem to be able to take them away from bad people because, oh yeah, they break the law. That's what they do. They'll steal them. They'll break into houses. They'll break into cars. They will break into police cars. They will shoot and kill police officers to get their guns, and they do. So the president just always goes back to his gun control. That was last week. He said the idiotic thing. He says it's easier to get a gun than it is a book. Really? Seriously? I mean, I've never seen anybody be required to get an FBI background check to buy a book. But if you go to a gun store, I went and picked up a gun a couple of days ago. Had to do the FBI background check again. They got to call it in again every single time. Every single time we do that. And oh, by the way, I was out shooting yesterday, and I was looking at the video of the police officer shooting back at this guy. They have video of that. I was practicing at 25 yards with my pistol because you never know. You just never know what. Oh, yes, the average gunfight is 3 yards. Okay, yeah, great. But what if yours is not the average one? Are you carrying a gun which will, and do you have the skill to make a shot at 25 yards? Well, you should be able to, if you're serious about it. Because if you could make an aimed shot and make a connection at 25 yards, and you're in a situation like that, you can keep somebody's head down even if you don't hit them. But if you're shooting from behind cover and you can keep putting shots on target, you can keep somebody's head down until the cavalry arrives. And sometimes that's all you can do. But if that's all you can do, that's huge. Because if somebody's hunkered down, he's not shooting other people, is he? He's not shooting people at a mall or in a park. He's not shooting police officers. Yeah, it gets messy, doesn't it? What do I do if? Well, I know I sound like a broken record. I know. I understand. What do I do if? Well, that's why you get the training, so you know what to do if. Tell you what, the president's not shown up yet. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break here, Jim. We'll go to our commercial break, and that, with any luck, will give us time to get him in when we come back. We'll be right back.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
When it's all on the line, you can count on Trijicon Optics. Earning its reputation in combat and on hunts in all corners of the world, Trijicon comes through. The new AccuPower rifle scopes feature battery-powered illuminated reticles, variable power, adjustable brightness, plus they're waterproof. The years of waiting, the dollars spent, your hunt of a lifetime comes down to a single moment. Get Trijicon quality. Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
Accurate, powerful, consistent. At Double Tap Ammunition, we offer 364 loads in 83 calibers that give you exactly what you've been looking for. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
All right, back with the 866 Talk Gun, get you in there. I'm not sure we're going to be able to take any calls today, but we'll see how it goes. Right now we're waiting for President Obama to make his remarks to the nation. Tell you what, while we're doing that, why don't we get Ron in here, line 2 from Seabrook, Texas. Hey, Ron, welcome to the show. Understand that if the president shows up, we're going to go straight to that. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. The martial law thing I think is ridiculous, but I do think that this does benefit Barack Obama's anti-gun stance because if he's going to enact any laws or even use his executive powers to try and enforce any sort of gun regulation, he has to have people that are willing to enforce that regulation. And right now the police aren't willing to do that. But if enough police get killed with guns, then they might start thinking twice about that.
Well, interesting thought. I had not thought about that, but I appreciate that. Thanks, Ron. I appreciate the call. Scott's in Idaho Falls, Idaho, line 1. Hey, Scott, you're on Gun Talk.
Yeah, Tom, I would just like to encourage people to give up this open carry of long guns. It's counterproductive to our efforts. And we've had this really respected sheriff out of Dallas that says not to. It endangers officers, and it just makes it hard for them to do their jobs.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, and look, I get what people are saying. It's my right. I want to do this. Yeah. But I'm just, and boy, and there's nobody more pro-gun than me. I'm just not seeing the benefit to it. I'm not seeing what we gun owners get out of this other than scaring people. And I know people say, well, I want to acclimate them. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I think it doesn't work. I guess, and I keep saying, do you think you are effectively changing people to a pro-gun stance when you walk around with your AK, your AR, or whatever it is you got on your shoulder? Do you think that is an image that makes people feel better about gun ownership or worse about gun ownership? How do you think people, oh yeah, well, when I go there, people all, they all say, way to go. That's way, really? Tell you what you do. Go walk through a mall somewhere. Yeah, good question. Michelle says, do you look like a pro-gun rights person or do you look like a perp? Good question. Because some of these guys I've seen, I'd call 911 on them. I mean, it just is. I was mentioning earlier the idea of, and people say, well, I carry this little gun because that's all I'm going to need. One of the things you get out of the really good training, if it's good training, is you don't know what you're going to face. You don't know what it's going to be. It could be a guy with a rifle who's 30 yards away or 40 yards away or 50 yards away. I can tell you, because I do this with my carry gun, the one I'm wearing as I'm speaking to you right now. I'm currently carrying 27 rounds on my person as I do the radio show, okay? Because, why not? Is why. With this gun, I can probably 50% of the time I can put hits on a human-sized target at 50 yards. At 25 yards, I'm probably in the 80% hits. and the rest of them are going to be right around there, enough to keep somebody's head down. It's not something I ever want to do. Oh, God, I hope I never have to. But, wow, I can't even imagine what it would feel like if that came up and I had the shot and I decided to bring a pipsqueak gun or a little dinky nothing thing, or worse yet, nothing. I didn't bring it today because I was going to a safe area. I was going to a mall. I was going to fill in the blank with all the stuff you hear people say. Well, I live in a safe part of town. Yeah, no, actually. It probably is, but it doesn't mean nothing is going to happen. And did you see the report of people said that like 80% of the people now say that they get road rage and they yell and honk and flip people off and all that. As I say, people are crazy. There's some really crazy people out there. What is your plan? You are driving around with your kids in the car seats in the car. And a guy stops and comes around and he starts smashing out your windows with a tire iron because he thinks you cut him off in traffic. What's your plan? A lot of people have figured this out. Thank goodness. A lot of people have said, I'm in. And a lot of those people are women, thank goodness, because I've really had to be educated on this because it just doesn't come naturally to me to think about this. But women simply are targets more. Women simply have other concerns. As one of them said, look, men don't every single day worry about their safety. I mean, really worry about their safety the way women do. Yeah, you're right. Fortunately, women are getting smart about it and saying, okay, I'm going to get the training. I'm going to get my gun. I'm going to get my permit. I'm going to carry. I'm going to figure out how to do it. We were having conversations this week with ladies in our office. Ankle carry, belly band, purse. How are you going to carry? Maybe just simply changing the way you dress. Maybe you have to do that to get to where you need to go. It looks as though, I'm not sure that we're going to be able to get I don't know when President Obama is going to start his, They are naming the shooter right now. They are naming the fellow who got shot. They said he was 29 years old, a former Marine from Kansas City, Missouri. Well, we'll be hearing an awful lot more about that as we go along. There'll be lots of information. Former Marine. Yeah, we are going to see some ramifications from this. I think this is one of those, yeah, you're right, another reason to demonize the vets. Yeah, if somebody had military training, therefore we should what? You know, the FBI actually identifies this, among terrorist threats are people who have military training. Our American vets. Out of the millions upon millions upon millions, we have one or two that goes nutso on you. I don't know, but I feel the Obama machine, the Saul Alinsky never let a crisis go to waste machine ramping up. I feel the Hillary Clinton machine, and she's never missed an opportunity to call for more repressive laws to restrict your gun rights, while clearly doing nothing about criminals, because that's what they are after all. They're criminals. They break the law. They will kill, they will murder, they will plan the assault and murder on police officers, the people who are sworn to protect you and me, the people who will rush toward the gunfire when everybody else is running away, the people who will be there, stand there in a line and be pelted with rocks and bottles and bricks and take it because people have a right, to protest? First Amendment? Yeah, I know. Prayers for the families. And the question for you is, are you finally ready to gear up and get ready? All right. We had hoped to be able to get President Obama's comments in this show. It does not look like that's going to happen, but he's been delayed. Probably going to be before we can get out on the end of the show, because we're just a few minutes out. I can't take any more calls. I could not do justice to you by getting any more calls in here. It's been a really sad day. It's been a very sad week. It's been a tough time. I don't know how we should react exactly. I think I'm going to every time I can, thank an officer. We made it a point last week to do that. If you see officers at a restaurant and you can, you might just pick up the check. Just thinking about it. A vote of confidence, a kind word, because they're there, because they will come when you need help. I don't need to say any more than that. When you need help, they will come. Now, the other side of that is, of course, as we always say, it takes them a while to get there, because you're the first responder. We're all first responders. I'm going to get me a big old shirt made up that says first responder on it, just as a reminder, because that's what, we're the ones who are there. If it happens in front of you, you don't want to wait 3 or 4 or 5 or 10, 15, 20 minutes for help to arrive. But they will show up. They are the good guys after all. But here's the thing. As good as they are, they want you to take care of yourself. When you go one-on-one with most police officers, they'll say, yeah, it's up to you to take care of yourself, because we're going to get there when it's all over. So perhaps maybe one of the best ways for you to honor these fallen officers, the ones who are injured, is to renew your promise or make a promise to be a first responder, to take care of yourself, to get the equipment, good stuff. This is life-saving equipment. This is a parachute. Your self-defense gun is a parachute. It's the thing that will keep you alive when everything else has gone wrong. Don't go cheap, okay? Training, don't go cheap. This is the stuff. The software is what saves you. The hardware allows you to use the software. The software is your training and your abilities. And those perish as soon as you walk out of the class. You're 99% as good the next day. You're 98% as good the next day. You're 97% the next day, unless you go practice, unless you get recurrent training. Yes, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. Everything good's worth working for, isn't it? And if you never, here's the thing. If you never have to use it, and I pray you don't, and I pray I don't, you will benefit from it every day of your life. You will be a more confident person. You will be a more capable person. You will see more. You will enjoy more. You will be aware of things. You will know more about your surroundings. You will have a good feeling about yourself. And oh yes, have I mentioned you won't be afraid anymore. You won't be afraid anymore, because you'll have a plan. You'll have the abilities, and you'll know you know what you're doing. I'm going to offer that up. A way that you can honor these officers is to say, I will take care of my family. I will take care of myself. I will make the commitment of time and money. I'm going to suggest, if you can't get to a class, go to our website, shopguntalk.com. Shopguntalk.com. We have some good videos that'll get you started there. Go to YouTube, look at all of our videos there. They're free there. Mainly, I want you to do this. I want you to look at your wife. I want you to look at your children. I want you to look at your grandchildren. I want to look at the people who love you and say, I will be here for you. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take care of you. I'll make that commitment to you. Let's all protect each other. Let's pray for the people in blue. Thank you.